Hi guys, welcome back to another part of Developing Dallas. And in this episode, I asked last episode what you think of putting some elites in instead of just going with the golds. And what I've decided to do is I've decided to go halfway on it, so I'll put one elite in per episode while we're still doing the golds, unless I really feel we need another one. And then hopefully we'll get a few more big names in the team earlier on, which I'm quite excited to do. But we get Tony Romo in to start off with. Going to start with quarterback, obviously the most important position on the team. And his veterans card is something else. It's so good. Every throw you do will be on the money, exactly where you want it. So if the ball is thrown to the wrong place, it's entirely my fault, which I think I'm going to have to start accepting with this card, because obviously with the silver cards they tend to not throw very well, but Tony Romo's throwing is unbelievable. But some of the other players we're getting in here, we're getting Ezekiel Elliott in now, and I actually picked up his elite card because I think I'm going to use the elite card instead of Emmitt Smith. I'm not sure how that will go, but I'm sure everyone's seen a fair few Emmitt Smith gameplays on YouTube, and I'm hoping the elite Ezekiel Elliott hasn't been used that much on YouTube. I mean, I haven't seen him used too much. And the card looks phenomenal. Like, stats-wise, he looks just as good, if not a little bit better than Emmitt Smith, which I was very surprised about, to be honest, when I looked at and compared the stats. So he's a lot better receiving. He's not as good at blocking, which is surprising considering he's 6 feet tall and Emmitt's only, about 5'8", 5'9". He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's a lot better at blocking than Ezekiel is. But for now, we're just going to put players in, take players out to make sure the depth chart isn't too full, because as you can see, contracts are an absolute killer for me. But the players we put in, I think, are going to make a huge difference. I mean, getting that Crawford in the line is really going to help, because now we haven't actually got a full bronze, sort of both bronze defensive tackles. And Nick Hayden here, for some reason I thought he was pretty decent, but he's actually terrible. So as you can see, comparing him to Bishop here, he's worse at everything except play rec, and play rec doesn't really mean anything for a D lineman, but I'm user him, which I tend to do. So we're going to get rid of him. We're going to put Bishop in as second D tackle, and everyone else, as you can see, we've pretty much got a full gold-ish lineup now. Obviously we've got a few silvers in there, a few bronzes in there, here and there, but on the whole, most of the important positions are good gold players, like wide receiver, for example. We got Beasley in, who is playing really, really well, to be honest. I'm loving using his card. His Team of the Week card, for how cheap it is, 2-3k, is incredible. But I also want to get Deion Sanders in soon as well. Obviously, I probably won't be able to afford his cornerback card, as you can see. Only have 200k, and it's a golden ticket, so that's about 2 mil. So no chance of me getting that anytime soon. But obviously, we'll get him in. Wide receiver is out of position guard. And we'll put him a kick return because he's 99 kick returns. So hopefully we'll be getting some help on the kick returns with him involved. But I think Reggie Dunn's, he's had his place in the team for a fair amount of time. We're going to put Beasley and Skandrick in, and hopefully they will do a good job. But moving into the checklist here, I've crossed off every Tony Romo card, because what I'm going to do is, once I get the highest rated card of a certain player, I'll cross off all the other versions. So I don't see the point in using a lower rated card, and I'm just going to use the higher rated cards. So Romo's a good example there. He obviously has a 94, 92 and 90 card. 94, 92 and 86. So I've just crossed off all the lower versions since I'm using his highest version. But that's pretty much all to do with the checklist. This episode is pretty standard, crossing off the gold players as per usual. But if you enjoyed the episode up to this point, guys, drop a like on the video. Let's try and get 15 likes. Comment down below what you think of the new rules, and subscribe if you're new. And I'm going to jump into what was one hell of a game. I mean, this game was jam-packed, full of action. So I will jump into the game now, and I will see you guys there. So, jumping into the game here, and this is quite a rare game for me, because I don't tend to have too many very high-scoring games, because the way I tend to score is a slow, steady drive of just getting, 6-7 yards average a play. So it takes me a long time to get up the field, but this game was something else. There was so many touchdowns. As you can see there, it looked like I did a nano, but I just jumped the line perfectly with the D lineman, and he panicked. He had no time whatsoever. He had half a second maybe, but we forced him to punt on his first possession. He didn't even get one catch. So that's looking good for us. 3rd and 8, he forces us long, so he's doing the same as me, but you can know his X just going to be open there because his linebacker's moving right. He's not going to be able to cut left quick enough, and Beasley's just going to be open and take a really nice catch in there. Only 2 yards out. 2nd to go. We're going to try and force this in, and we nearly get it. Only 1 yard, but I'm going to get Romo his first touchdown for the team on his first drive. So that's Romo off to a good start. Getting a touchdown on his first drive. Him personally doing it as well. Bit of a laggy game, so the kick-in wasn't the greatest, so I didn't want to settle for many field goals, so I was just going for touchdowns because I knew that I'd shank a field goal if I got the chance. On defence here, we break through again. Nearly get the sack, but I'm more than happy with Barry Church getting the old interception in there. Love this Barry Church card, he's just performing so well for me. But we're going to try and use Ezekiel Elliott a bit. We didn't use him much on the last drive, but we're going to run with him as much as we can this time. And he puts in one hell of a shift this game. I think in the end, I don't know if I'll put the total yards gained that he got on, but he got around 200 yards, I think. So as you can tell from that, he had a very, very dominant performance. But we're already 14-0 up. Just moving into the 2nd quarter, so if we keep up this pace, 2 touchdowns a quarter, we'll be getting so many points by the end of the game. And this guy, he's got Stafford, and he's trying to roll out with him a lot. He's not bad at rolling out, Stafford. I mean, I used him in my other series, but he's not the best at it. Fumble there. Very lucky to get the recovery. I mean, I tried to call for a safe catch, but it wouldn't actually let me. So we got lucky to get the fumble recovery there. That could have been a game changer. But we actually fumble again. And we are very lucky there to get sort of an ankle scrape tackle. Otherwise, he was gone. No way was anyone getting him because it was just linemen on him. But he's lobbing it deep. And that might be one of the best interceptions I've ever seen. I mean, he shouldn't be catching that. Scantrick makes an absolutely phenomenal play there. Lovely block in there from Klutz. He's for a silver fullback, and we're going to have to use him until the end of the series, I think, unless we get sort of Witten at fullback or something like that. His blocking's phenomenal, but they didn't do Witten justice, I don't think. His run blocking in real life is phenomenal. As you know, I'm sure a lot of you know anyway, the Cowboys, their blocking is arguably the best in the league, and Witten's blocking on this game is just terrible. But moving on to the actual gameplay, Ezekiel there getting in again for his 2nd touchdown. That's 3 rushing touchdowns so far this game. I mean, usually get the pass touchdowns. I don't usually get too many rushing touchdowns, but good clock management there as well. We only left him 10 seconds, so he didn't get anywhere near scoring. But, he's still playing. Fair play to the guy. He's still playing through. He got us to 4th and 6th. I thought I'd go for it. 21-0 up, nothing to lose. And end up getting a fumble there. Barry Church, another phenomenal play by him. Big hit, and you can see them all celebrating. So we got a lineman. We're going to get cocky and run it in. I mean, I never get sort of a pick 6 or sort of a fumble recovery to a touchdown or anything like that. So I thought, got the chance, so I'll abuse it while I can. And this guy was just a glutton for punishment. I mean, he was staying in the game, which you got to respect to an extent. But when it's 28-0, you got to learn. Maybe that's the point where you give up. But anyway, he was always throwing, and I left him wide open over the middle there. I mean, he wasn't bad, this guy. I think he was just getting unlucky a lot of the time. Because he was making good plays, but his players were just fumbling, and his quarterback Stafford was throwing interceptions all over the shop, which is very unlike Stafford, especially in Madden. Maybe not in real life, but in Madden, definitely. But this 4 verts play. He's wide open there, just going to weave in between the 2, and that's Beasley. Obviously going to get a bit cocky there. So much time. Bit panicky there when I saw that guy coming, but I knew I had enough room just to slowly walk it into the end zone. And I'm going to try and run the score up because I haven't actually had a game on the channel in this series with an absolute blowout. So it's 35-7. We've still got 2 and a bit minutes to go, so there's still time to get a few touchdowns for us in here. And he fumbles again. That's a perfectly timed hit there. When it's, obviously I didn't time that, but when the quarterback's throwing hand is fully in the air, that's always going to be a fumble because he has nowhere to hold on to it. And we're just going to fullback dive it in, try and run up the score a bit more. So at this point, we've got, 7 touchdowns? 6 or 7 touchdowns? Maybe 6 touchdowns. And there's just no hope for this guy, if I'm being honest. There was no hope for him at the end of the first half, and he just throws another interception there. I mean, the defence were just playing out their skin this game. And I'm trying to, see what Romo can do. And I don't know how he kept going there. I mean, he was tackled, he was on the floor, but, Beasley's just not having any of it, and he's just going to walk into the end zone again for second touchdown within space of about 20 seconds of game time. So, 49-7 up. I could have gone for the 2 points to get the 50 bomb, but I didn't see the point of that. And he goes for a field goal at the end of the game just to get a few points on the board, I think. But fair play to the guy for sticking through to the end. Actually allowed me to get nice gameplay in for you guys. If you've enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next episode of Developing Dallas.